So these first ones say elimination. And the ones on the front of this page, to be really honest, are the only ones that really require work. A lot of the rest of this unit, you're going to be able to put in the calculator, okay? Now, I'm going to skip 1 or 2 problems here and there so that there's extra ones for practice for you because you don't have an actual, like, assignment for today. I'm going to skip number 1 because that's the easiest one. It's already set up for you. What variable is going to eliminate without you even having to do anything? Yeah, okay, like the 3x, the minus 3x, and the plus 3x. So I'm going to leave that one for you guys. Over here, because the rest of these, we're going to have to manipulate them. Which variable would be easier to eliminate? M or N? M. Okay, if this one's a 2M, we need this one to be a negative 2M. Okay, are you all together here? So the first one, I am just going to copy it over. Like literally just rewrite it. If you're like, hey, Miss Cole, it looks like you just rewrote the problem. Sure did. That's easy, right? Just rewrite what's there. What are we going to multiply the other equation by to like make it work? A -1. Everything is just, it's like opposite day. It's all going to negate. Where'd the -1 come from? Our mind, us. It's not going to be on the paper anywhere. You have to come up with that. So -2m plus 7n equals +14. Everything just flip-flops. And now look, the m's eliminate. Why it's called elimination. Okay, what do we get for the n column? -5 plus 7. 2n, good, equals -6 plus 14 would be 8. And then you just solve it from there. What would n equal? N is 4. Not done. We found n, you need m. So you're going to take 4 for n, plug it back into one of the original equations. I usually just say take the first one. No other reason than it's the first one. It really doesn't matter. We're going to plug in 4 for n, solve it. All right. So it would be 2m minus 5 times 4. I'm just plugging that back in equals -6. And then you're just going to work that out. So that'd be 2m minus 20, bless you, equals -6. And then what? Add 20. And you guys can't fool me that you don't know how to solve an equation because I gave you that midterm assessment on the equations and you guys all destroyed it. Okay, so I know you know how to do that. So 2m equals 14. Divide by 2, m is 7. Now you have to write it as an ordered pair. I usually try to give you x and y because it's always x, y. If it's not x and y, do it in alphabetical order. So like m would come before n. Does that make sense? Like just do it alphabetically. So it would be 7, 4. On the test, I'm pretty sure they're all x and y. Let's try it again. Which variable would be easier to eliminate for this one? The y's would be easier because this one doesn't have anything with it, so it's easy to manipulate. If this is a -2, I want the other one to be +2. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 2. The 2 came from us. It's not going to be on the paper anywhere. You have to look at it and come up with a number that's going to work. So if you double everything, what's that going to give you? 4x, good, plus 2y equals 10. Are you writing down all the steps back that you're not right in front of me anymore? So I got to be careful. All right, this one, just copy it over. If you're like, hey, Miss Cole, it looks like you literally just wrote what's there. Sure did. That's honestly what I really like about math. A lot of the time, you just have to copy what's there. It's like, okay, I can do that. The 2 y's eliminate, and then just add the other columns. So that's going to give you 7x equals 14. And so x is what? X is 2. Perfect. Not done. And if you're like, it feels like we're doing 2 problems every time. We sure are. It's a system. It's more than one equation. It's like a 2-part problem. You're going to take 2, plug it back in for x in the original problem, covering all this up. Just use the original one. If you plug in 2, can I try to get us to do some of that in our heads so we don't have to do as much writing? Like, are you guys going to follow me here? If I take 2 and plug it in for x, 2 times 2, 4 plus y equals 5. Subtract 4 and y is 1. And then how are we going to write our answer? Yeah, 2, 1. Be careful. That's why I keep bringing it up. So you got to be careful. It's x, y. That's elimination. Any questions? No. Okay. This front page is where you're going to have to do some work. All right. After this, we're going to rely heavily on the calculator. All right. That's elimination. You stack them up, make them eliminate. Substitution. This time I'm going to skip number 5 for you. Substitution, you get one variable by itself, substitute into the other equation. Which variable would be easier to get alone, x or y? Y. How come? Yeah, do you see how it's kind of alone? Like already it's sort of lonely? How would you get y alone? What would you do? Yeah, subtract 3x. Perfect. You want to get y alone. This is where I use the highlighter. I don't have my highlighter out here anymore. I'll just kind of circle it with pink. So we get y equals -5 minus 3x. Those aren't like terms. You can't put them together. Just leave it. But you're going to take this and do what with it? Yeah, plug it in for which variable? Y. Good. We're going to plug that in for y. Oh, and what do we put around it? Parentheses. Good. Okay. I'm going to give it a hug. So it's going to be 3x. Oh, whoops. Yeah, write and talk at the same time. 3x minus 4, but instead of y, you're going to put all of that. That's what, I'm not teaching you what the word substitution means. You know that that means to replace something. We're just doing like a math problem with it. So we replace y with all that, and then it's equals -10. From there, you just solve. I'm actually going to shut my mouth and just let you do that. Compare with your group. Distribute, combine, like, be careful because there's negatives. Happens. So, well, let's see. We're going to distribute not a 4, but a -4. So all these negatives are going to cancel. It'll be 3x plus 20 plus what? Oh, good. Okay, cool. 12x. That sounds like that went okay so far. Then what? All right, good. Perfect. Combine like terms. That'll be 15x plus 20 equals -10. This sounds like this went okay. Subtract 20, you get 15x equals -30. Did you get -2? All right, sweet. Okay. Well, I wanted you to compare with each other, and like, I have always wanted my desks like this. I tried at the beginning of the year. I just had too many desks. I finally got them back the way I want them. I like groups of 4 because I'm always like, here, try this together and then compare. All right, we're not done yet. I'm going to take -2, plug it back into the original problem, solve for y. Actually, I feel like this one might be the easier one to plug it back into because y is already kind of alone. If you plug in -2, 3 times -2, that'll be -6 plus y equals -5. Just take that, plug that back in, add 6, and you get y is 1. So how do you write the answer, though? Perfect. -2, 1. I'm going to leave number 5 for you guys, but I'll start you off on it verbally. Which variable would be easier to get by itself, x or x? Do you see that first x, how it's kind of alone? You would subtract 2y. All right, down here, we'll do number 6 together. This case, it doesn't really matter if you get x or y alone because they're already both sort of set up. So I'll do whichever one you want. Do you want to get x by itself or y? Get y by itself. So you would subtract x to the other side. That would give you y equals 16 minus x. I just subtract the... Algebra is just moving stuff. Just taking that and moving it to the other side. I'll use the pink marker for what it's worth, and it doesn't show up great up here, but I'm going to take that, plug it in for y in the other equation, and then solve it. Oh, and what are we going to put around it? Parentheses. Give it a hug. All right. So it'll be 2 times all of that equals -2x plus 2. Okay, let's see. Distribute the 2. What did you get? Good. Minus 2x. Good. Bless you. Equals all the rest of this. Then you would try and get the x's together, but watch what happens. When you add 2x, they cancel. You get 32 equals 2. What do you think? No solution. You get something that doesn't make any sense. And what that means is that the lines don't do what? They don't, good vocabulary. They don't cross, they don't intersect. Cool. All right, I'm going to leave number 5 for you guys. Because again, you don't have an assignment. I'm going to post all the answers. You can use them for practice. All right. Now, after that, like I said, those are the questions that had like a lot of steps to them. From here on out, we're going to rely heavily on the calculator to like do these for us, which is kind of nice, but you have to be able to use the calculator. Do you want to do 7 or 8? They're both the same kind of problem. We'll do whichever one. 7 looks more confusing?
No, 7's easier because it already has y figured out.
It really doesn't matter because we're going to type it in. We'll do 7. All right, so I'm going to come over here. Shh. Guys, look. I'm going to type in the first one. Do you see that? Y equals -6. What does it look like? Horizontal line. Good vocabulary. At -6. Go ahead and draw that in. It's a horizontal line at -6. I just typed it in. Oops, I forgot to hit share screen though. Let me do that so it'll show up on the recording. I typed in y equals -6. We got a horizontal line at -6. So we're going to go ahead and draw that in. So count down 6. And it'll be like this. All right. And then I'm just going to go and type in the other one. Let me share screen so this will show up. All right. And then what is it? 4x plus y equals 2. Now you need to find some points that are on nice whole numbers. So do you see any? 0, 2, do you see that one? Do you see any others? Here, I can zoom it in a little bit. We got 0, 2, 1, -2. And from there, you'll be able to keep the slope going. All right, so plot 0, 2, and 1, -2. You just need to find ones that are on nice whole numbers, all right? 0, 2, and then we've got 1, -2. And then what's the slope between those? Because you can kind of just keep counting the little boxes and keep the pattern going. Yeah, -4, down 4, right 1. You can kind of keep that going. And then you're just going to write the answer. So which point is the answer? Is it 2, -6? 2, -6 is our answer. We'll look at your paper instead of mine because it's a little closer to you. But yeah, it's just for, oh, and here, look, if you're not sure, do you see how you guys were like, I can't tell if it's 2 or 3? Look it. If you come over here and type them both in at the same time, you can click on the intersection. Do you see that? So if you're ever not sure, just go back to the calculator, okay? All right, I'll leave number 8 for you. Number 9, draw a system with no solution. I'm not looking for a masterpiece of artwork here. Just what would that look like if they don't cross? Parallel lines. Just draw me 2 parallel lines. They're not going to intersect. Draw a system with a solution in quadrant 3. All right, which one is quadrant 3? And I'm looking for words like top right or bottom left or something like that. Okay, this one's quadrant 3. So if you want to make a system that intersects in that quadrant, you can draw whatever you want as long as they intersect down here. So like boom, boom. And like, here's the answer, just in quadrant 3. All right, and then 11 and 12, again, are much the same. So you can pick one or the other, and we'll, I mean, I'm going to skip 1 so you have it for practice. You want to do 12? Okay. So first, we're going to decide what X and Y are. I'm not going to read you the problem because that teaches you not to read. So I want you to read it and just come up with what are the 2 things. We just want to know what's X and what's Y. Oh, we're doing 12. What's X and what's Y? For number 12, just read it. Don't overthink. What are the 2 things? Remember we did like vans and buses, and we had like adult tickets and child tickets, like all those questions. What are the 2 things going on? Good. True, false, and multiple choice. I'm abbreviating here. But those are the 2 things going on. It's just read it. Whatever jumps out at you is probably the right answer. You all have good instincts, all right? So let's write a system. That's 2 equations. First of all, how many questions does the test have? 20. So X plus Y is 20. There's a total of 20. All the true false plus all the multiple choice is going to be 20. Now pull out some of the other numbers. What else can we put together? True false is worth 3. So it would be 3x, good, plus 11y. Wow, the multiple choice are worth 11 points each. Don't miss one of those. Equals 100. How come it's 100? Guys, back there. How come it's 100? That's the total points. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Are you guys looking here? I'm going to just type these in. X plus y equals 20. Oops. And then what did we say? 3x plus 11y equals 100. Now, because that's 100, I might need to like, oh, there it is. 15, 5. Now, this is why you write down what x and y are. X is the 15, y is the 5. So true, false, 15, multiple choice, 5. So there's only 5 multiple choice questions that are worth 11 points each. I feel like that's going to be a not fun test to take. Oh, okay. Well. All right, and we're just going to do a couple on this page, and then we'll do our break. I want to finish the systems, right? And these are fill in the blank. 13. Oh, let's do 13 first. If x plus 2y equals 0 and 3x plus 4y equals 4. Okay, so that's our system. Let me go ahead and type that in. Hey, guys, literally just watch. I know you don't have your computer in front of you because I'm teaching, but look, I'm just going to type them in. What goes in the first one? Can you read it to me? What was it? Yeah, x plus 2y equals 0. And then what was the, like literally just reading it off the paper. 3x plus 4y equals 4. It's like almost brain optional, right? Oh, whoops, let me zoom back in. Let me zoom in. There we go. Okay, so here's the intersection. What are x and y?
4.
Write down on your paper, x equals 4, y equals -2. How much work did I do? Literally none. I typed it in the calculator. X is 4, y is -2.
What does the 5x plus y mean?
All right, it says, what does 5x plus y equal? Well, x is 4, y is -2. So you're going to take those numbers and do what with them? It would be substitute them in. Good vocabulary. Or it would be 5 times what? What do we get for x? 4, good. Plus y, which is -2. And then you just work that out. You could type that in the calculator, but 5 times 4 is 20. -2 is 18. So we put this in the calculator, got the answer, and then we just did that problem. We'll do the fill in the blanks, right? If a system is graphed with 2 lines with the same slope, think about what that would look like. Same slope, what would that be? Parallel, but different y-intercepts. So you'd have one like this and one like this. How many answers are you going to get? None. There are 0 solutions or none solutions, whatever. No solutions. There aren't any. Now look, if it's graphed with the same slope, but the same y-intercept, so they have the same slope and they start at the same place. Oh, y infinite. Yeah, they're like literally on top of each other. Infinite solutions. And if you just have 2 lines that intersect, then good, perfect. Then there's 1 solution. Could you ever get 2? No, these are the options. 1, none, or like everything in the world. So the first half of this unit was on the systems, which is what we just reviewed. The second half was on the inequalities. So if it's an inequality, that means that you don't have an equal sign. What can you have instead of an equal sign? Less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. It was the solid and dotted line, but again, the calculator will do it for you. So 17, A or B? Let's do B. I'm going to share the screen and just type it in. Just watch. This is literally all you have to do. What is it? 2x minus 3y is less than 6. Find me some whole numbers that we can plot. What do you see on there? All right, we got 3, 0. And then 0, -2. If the intercepts are good, you know, go for those. If not, then you kind of have to look around elsewhere. All right. We're going to put 3, 0, 0, -2. What would be the slope between those? Because like let the slope instincts kick in. You could keep it going. You would go up 2 and then over 3, up 2, right 3, and you could get more points on there. Do you see what I'm saying? And then it's just what kind of line was it? Do you remember from the graph, or do you remember what this symbol means? What kind of line does that mean we're going to do? Dotted. It doesn't have the equal to, so make it a dotted line. Hey, Miss Cole, I'm writing with pen and I accidentally made it a solid line. Just write the word dotted next to it and I will know what you meant. And then write with pencil. And then let me share the screen back again. Where was it shaded? Above. Okay, so shade above. Can anyone give me a point that's part of the answer? 0, 0 is the easiest one to go for. 0, 0. But can you give me another one? -5, 4. -5, 2. How about 1, 7? How about all the points on the line? They don't count because it's dotted. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing for number 18. Let me share the screen. I'm going to go back, clear out the old one, and type in the new one. Thank you. All right, so that is 5x minus y is less than 7. All right, can we see a point that's on a nice whole number? Because the axes, it didn't really work out there. Or actually, on the y-axis it is. Do you see that? -7. So you can put a point at 0, -7. Do you see another one, though? Yeah, do you see that right there? 1, -2. Sometimes you just have to look until you find one. Hey, don't make me regret giving you those seats, okay? Hold on. 1, -2, and then 0, -7. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to forget where the points were. Go ahead. We just kind of looked at the graph until we found one that was on a nice whole number. So like we had 0, -7 was right there. And then do you see how this one right here is on a nice whole number? 1, -2. Sometimes you just have to look through until you see one that is on a nice whole number. Like, hey, do you guys see one up here?
3, 2, 3.
2, 3. Do you see that one? So 2, 3, we can also put. So 2, 3. What kind of line is it? It's dotted line. Yeah, it's a very steep line. And then it was shaded on this side. So it says list any 2 ordered pairs. This is why I always ask you, because it's going to be on the test. Any 2 that you want. Can you give me a point that's part of the shaded area? -3, 1. I heard that one first. -3, 1 would be right here. That's good. What else? -4, 6. And again, you can kind of put whatever you want as long as it's in this section. It can't be on the line because it's dotted. All right, we all okay? Okay. Now this one is 2 at once. This is where I had you use different colors. And if you want to do that on the test, you can. For right now, I'm just going to shade with my pencil. It's the exact same thing, but we have more than one of them. Okay. So I'm going to go back and share my screen. And my suggestion is do them one at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. All right. Y greater than x minus 4. Do you see any nice whole numbers that we could put? 0, -4. And then, well, actually, what do you see is the slope? 1, like it's going up 1, right 1. Do you see that? So start at -4. And then do your slope up 1, right 1. What kind of line was it? Dotted. So dot that in. And then where was the shading? I forgot. Above. Just always go back to your calculator because it's literally going to do it for you. Now, don't shade that too dark because we're going to do another one and then we're going to like darken in the overlap. Okay, so just kind of shade it, but sort of lightly. right, so let me share the screen again. I'm going to clear that out. And again, I know we want 2 at once, but just type them in 1 at a time so you don't, overwhelm yourself. All right, and then what is it? Less than or equal to 2. All right, so do you see any nice whole numbers that we can do? 1, 0.
2, -2.
2, -2, and 0, 2. Do you see how the slope is -2? It's down 2 over 1. So it's going to look like this. What kind of line was that one? Because it had the equal to, so not dotted, but like solid line or like a line. And if people don't know what to call that one, because it's just a line. Solid line. And then where was it shaded? Let me go back, I forget. Below. So this side. And so what you want to do is extra bold the overlap. Do you see how that's this section right here? Like this slice. And again, if you want the colored pencils for during your test or your highlighters or whatever, please feel free to use those. I'll get out I forgot to get out the bucket today, but I'll get it out for the test and you can use this. You can color one color and the other. And then this is asking you which of these points are part of the solution. So which ones are in this extra bolded, like overlap shaded part? What do you think about 0, 0 right there? Yes, 0, 0 is good. Count that. How about 1, 1? No. You kind of just look at it and see if it's in there. How about 0, 2? Oh, that's on the line. Why does it count?
Because
it's on the solid line. So we do want that one. Oh, to compare and contrast, do you see how 1, -3 is right here?
No.
It's a no because it's on the dotted line. So we don't want that. So solid counts, dotted doesn't. Does the intersection count? No, unless they're both solid, but I'm not going to do that. All right, and then how about -1, 4? Yes, it's on the line, but it's solid, so that would count. All right, cool. This one, I'm going to leave this for you. You're just picking which 2 of these would give you this graph. You can just practice typing each of them in until you get that graph. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. Do you understand what that's asking? Like you would circle 2 of these that give you this picture. So you would just type them into the calculator until you end up with this picture and circle the 2 that it is. Okay. All right, over here. You guys know how to solve an equation, and I'm going to fill this all out. All the answers are going to be posted. I'm going to leave that one for you because you guys know how to solve an equation. Let's go down here. We want to write an equation of a line. This is last unit. What do we not have? We have points, but we don't have what? Perfect. How do I get the slope? I'll give you a hint. There's a fraction bar.
Y minus
Y.
2 minus y.
Good. Which 2 are the y numbers?
-7.
Good. So we're going to do -7 minus 5. So those are the y numbers. On the bottom, you're going to put 4 minus -3, which would be 4 plus 3. Good. And let's see, that would be -12 over 7. Is that what that came out to? Oh, that's really weird. Yeah, I think on the test I would make it a whole number, or at least a nice fraction, like a 1/2. -12/7 is pretty vicious, but that's okay. We'll get through it. You have to pick a point. Which one have I always told you to pick? Just use the first one. That's your point. That's your slope. Do you remember the format it goes in? That's what's going to end up being y minus 1. So it'll be y minus which number I circled?
Y minus
5. Good. Equals, and I heard somebody over there say m. That's the -12/7. That's going to be a real mess. Parenthesis. X. Good. It would be minus -3, so that would be plus 3. I wouldn't give you a -12/7. Okay, that's what's weird about this problem, but I'll just type it in the calculator. From there, you just rearrange it. What would you do with the -12/7? Yeah, distribute. So that's going to be y minus 5 equals negative 12/7 x, and then that would be minus 36/7. Again, pretend it was a whole number, okay? And then what's your last step to get it to look like y equals mx plus b? Yeah, add the 5. Let me type that in. So what was it? Negative 36/7 plus 5. You turn that back into a fraction. Negative 1/7 is what that came out to. I just typed it in the calculator. All right, so it would be y equals negative 12/7 x minus 1/7. Pretend it was a whole number. It wouldn't be as bad. All right, and then last one. It's a proportion. You have a fraction equals another fraction. Do you remember how to handle these? Good. Cross multiply. It would be 7 times x plus 3, but you need to give it a hug. All right, so it'll be 7 parentheses x plus 3. Yerp. Equals. Now go the other way. It'll be 5 times 2x minus 1. From there, it is just solving, and I know you guys are good at this. So let's finish this one together. What would you do with the 7 and the 5? Distribute. What does that give you? Good. Equals 10x minus 5. Sorry, I was struggling. I broke my pencil there. All right, then what? We're going to subtract 21. It won't matter which direction you move stuff. I just took whatever I heard first. All right. It'll be 7x equals 10x minus 26. All right, minus 10x. That'll be negative 3x equals negative 26. Divide by negative 3. What happens to negatives? They cancel. So 26 over 3, whatever that is. You could type it in and get a decimal if you want, but it doesn't reduce. So I'm going to leave it a loner. I just don't, like, whatever I get, I just don't mess with it.